What's going on? It's your boy Bowie here. And this video is an updated version of a video that I recorded a while ago talking about the hopeful changes that I want to see for my main characters. I play 8 characters in this game, and I want to go over each pair of them and talk about the changes that I hope to see in an upcoming patch. Peacemaker is coming out on February 28th, and it's the 24th, so I figured I'd talk about what I'd like to see. I hope it's the 28th. Maybe I'm mistaken. I don't even care for the DLC. I just care about the patch. You dig what I'm saying? So let's talk about these mains of mine. So, Ashra and Katana. First and foremost, I barely play Ashra because she's just so damn good, you know. And Katana, you know, Katana's really good. Both of these characters. Let's see, what kind of changes do I want for them? How about none? Katana and Ashra are perfect exactly the way that they are. They're both very strong characters. You know what I'm saying? They don't need a goddamn thing. Especially not this character here. Katana, she's stronger than a motherfucker, particularly with Jax. Okay? So, Katana's good because she's a whole character. You know what I'm saying? She has very strong anti-airs, very good strings, normals, high damage without a cameo. You know what I'm saying? She has a powerful mid that allows her to just get really good damage. She's complete, man. She can be used offensively and defensively. Nothing wrong with this character. And virtually everything I said about Katana applies to Ashra as well. Okay? Both of these characters are just really strong. They don't need to be adjusted in any way, shape, or form whatsoever. So, who's next? These two characters, Tanya and Johnny Cage. They don't need a goddamn thing. These two characters are extremely powerful the way that they are. Tanya especially, you know, she has an absurd mid, very long range normals, a sweep that is ridiculous, her super long range mid, which she can make even longer range, you know what I'm saying, with this buff. You know, Tanya doesn't need a damn thing. She's great. Her damage is somewhat on the lower end, but if that's the only weakness that people can find with her, that's a damn good character. And then Johnny Cage, what is there to say about Cage? There are people that still think that this character is top 3 in the game. Absolutely not. He is a top tier character. He's still one of the stronger characters in the game. But top 3, no. Not with Raiden, not with Kenshi, not with Sindel, not with Liu Kang, all in the game. Okay? Johnny's strong, but he ain't that goddamn strong. Not anymore. You know, with the low hat nerf to the plus frames, Johnny Cage can't find himself plus off of his mid anymore, and that hurts. You know what I'm saying? Not to mention, he got his EX parry nerfed, which doesn't really hurt the way he plays, but it stops him from getting maximum damage off of a reversal. So, you know, plus every Johnny Cage I see in tournament either loses or they have to switch their character before they lose. Now, do cages win regional tournaments? Sure they do, yeah. But more often than not, Johnny Cage players have to come up off of Cage. You wouldn't have to do that with a top 3 character, okay? So, Johnny's been nerfed enough. He doesn't need a goddamn thing. Neither does Tanya. Let's move on to some characters that actually need some changes. All right, so we got Melina and General Shao. Now, let me make one thing clear right now. Both of these characters are stronger than a motherfucker. They are tournament viable. You can absolutely win any kind of tournament with them or place top 8. All right. However, they both have some quality of life changes that they do need. Actually, I should start with General Shao because he needs less than Melina does. So, General Shao, I used to think needed a mid while his axe was out, but honestly, he can kind of go without it because this button's really good. You know what I'm saying? So he's cool here. But one of the things that I do think needs to be addressed is this. Why is this 40 frames a startup? Seriously, why? This move is so slow that it barely gets used, if ever. Like, you could use it, but more often than not, you're going to get hit. So, a reduction in startup frames of this would be greatly appreciated, and I think it's something that will help him out, make him be a little bit more well-rounded, because there's no point of having a dead move. There's no reason why this can't be 25 to 30 frames a startup. It can still have high recovery so that people can't just throw this out, but you can't really, you know what I'm saying? I mean, for crying out loud, they allowed you to combo off of the EX version, but you'll never get to do it. That's not a combo. That's not a combo. I don't even know how he combos from that, or combos into it. I really don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, how's he supposed to combo into this? You know, what was the point of making this launch if he can't even combo into it? You know what I'm saying? So, 25 to 30 frames startup on this move would be great. Also, this axe throw, it's really powerful, really good. He becomes a different character, but notice how quickly his axe comes back. You know what I'm saying? Instead of the axe coming back 5 seconds after it's thrown, what NRS needs to do is let players decide when it comes back instead. We already have a command for it to return. It's down forward 4. And so, instead of doing that, maybe it can come back with the stance switch button or something. You know what I'm saying? That way we can use this more creatively in combos and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'd love to be able to do this, bring the axe back, and then continue the combo. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can do it, but what happens far too often is, you know, the axe comes back in mid combo. So you're doing 2-2-3 or 2-2-4. You know what I'm saying? And as you're doing it, the axe came back in mid string, and now you can't do no 2-2-4 because he doesn't have it with the axe. You know what I'm saying? And so rather than having his combos be disrupted because the axe just had to come back on its own, let us decide when we want it back. Let us control it. The same way we control when Shang Tsung morphs. The same way we control, we have a degree of control of Ashra's dark stance and light stance. You know what I'm saying? So let us control those things for General Shao. If we get those two things for him, he doesn't need any adjustments for the rest of the game. Now, Melina. Melina is good. Okay? But there's several things that she has that are not good. For one, her down 1 apparently is -10 on block, which is absurd. It's kind of absurd. And I like the range of it. It's a good poke, but it doesn't need to be -10 on block. -8 is more than fine. Okay? One other thing. Her strings kind of need some help. What is the purpose of her forward 2 being 18 frames? Like, seriously. it's a high. It's a high attack, and it leads to this. You know what I'm saying? And that's cool. You know, she has that ender or this ender, right? But there's no reason for this move to be 18 frames. Especially for the lack of range that it has, 18 frames is too slow. So it definitely needs to be sped up, okay? Also, Melina has one mid string. That one. And she can special cancel it. But I have several issues with this. So for one, for this mid to be 13 frames, it kind of has lackluster range. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't hit from, I mean, her stand 1 and this mid have the same range. Roughly. So why not speed this up just slightly? You know what I'm saying? But more importantly, about this string, why is this a dial up? Like, is this string so good that you have to dial it in? Why? Like, let this be a regular string that we can stagger. Because she already has a bunch of strings that we can't stagger. We can't stagger this. We can do stand 1 staggers, but we can't stagger the 1-2. Because the 2 is a dual hitting string. You know what I'm saying? We can kind of stagger this. You know what I'm saying? But once we commit to an ender, we can't stagger it. You know? So I think it's important that this mid string, like, we can stagger the mid by itself, but that string needs to be staggerable. It does not need to be a dial-in string. It's kind of silly. And plus it's -5 on block anyway, so what is the point of this being a dial-in string? You know? There's no point in that. So I would say turn this into a regular string. You know, the dial-in string should be reserved for really powerful, you know, 5-hit having strings that are, you know, special cancelable at multiple parts. Not for quick little strings like this. Like, there's no point to that. Now, one other thing for Melina. Why do her projectiles go half screen? What's up with that? This projectile's good, but it's already a risk for her to throw this out because of the recovery. Like, this has, ooh, Lord, 44 frames of recovery. This has 37. We already have Liu Kang that can throw out low projectiles, full screen low projectiles for free. She has to spend a bar to throw hers. Why? What's the point of that? You know what I'm saying? Like, Liu Kang is a top tier character. All his projectiles go full screen. And he's better up close than Melina is. You know what I'm saying? So her projectiles need to go full screen. Both of them. I don't give a fuck. Because Kenshi exists in this game. Because Liu Kang exists in this game. Because Ashura and Reiko exist in this game. And because Melina's own sister Katana has full screen projectiles and a full screen trap, you know, that hits anywhere on the screen. Both of her projectiles need to be full screen. Okay? But that's going to invalidate this. No, it's not. Her EX low fireball can be given a different property. Maybe instead of knocking people down, maybe it does a stagger. Maybe it creates a stagger that allows for a combo follow-up. You know what I'm saying? That way she can do shit like this, and then it's a combo. Of course, it will be death on block. You know what I'm saying? So if the opponent reads that you are going to do this, and you do it, you get blown up and killed for it, and that's fine, because you spent the bar, so you can't break, and you got fucked up. But if it hits, it's a combo, and that'd be another combo route for Melina. You know what I'm saying? So I'm with that. And then this can still remain what it is for 2 bars. It'll still go full screen, but now this will go full screen as well. Like, I understand, you know, NetherRealm was trying to make zoning not that strong in this game, especially since Melina just came from MK11 and was zoning the shit out of people. But listen, we need more zoning in this game. We need more zoning because characters like Johnny Cage are in the game. Characters like Omni-Man are in the game. You know, characters like Baraka are in the game. And Baraka has some pretty decent zoning with his projectiles. So why are all these other characters allowed to have really good projectiles, but hers has to go half screen? That don't make no sense. You know, so full screen projectiles for Melina. Remove the dial-in part of this string. It should just be a regular string. Speed up forward 1. Forward 2, I'm sorry. My bad. Yes, but also speed up forward 1 a little bit as well. You do that, Melina's perfect for the rest of the game's life. All right? Now, let's talk about my last 2 mains. Y'all already know where I'm going with this one. You already knew I had to have my Lin Kuei brothers last. So, Scorpion. Scorpion's very weird because Scorpion has some really impressive tournament results. And, you know, in the hands of players like MK Javier, he's a menace, especially when paired with the Striker cameo. But when he's not using the Striker cameo, he is basic as fuck. And virtually everything he does is a risk to himself. This is a risk. This is a risk. This is a risk. Hell, even this is a risk. This character has to take so many unnecessary risks that are only mitigated by him being full screen. You know what I'm saying? And I don't see the reason for it. So I'm not saying that Scorpion needs those risks to be nullified, but they certainly need to be reduced. So for one, back 3, it should be unsafe on block. I'm perfectly fine with that. But negative 19 is excessive. Negative 19 is completely excessive, okay? Let me block. Yeah. That's way too unsafe for him. Especially considering how easy it is to do this when you think your opponent's here and then they wind up here. And you do this. And then they can full combo punish you. And they can jump over you. You know what I'm saying? Like, people can already full combo punish you for doing it when they jump over. It doesn't need to be negative 19 as well. Like, I would reduce this to like negative 14. That way, if people do this from right here, they still get blown up. It's still unsafe. You could still jump over it. But if you do it in the neutral, everybody's not going to be able to punish this. You know what I'm saying? So still unsafe, just less unsafe. Same thing with this. This shit is negative 38 on block. Why? You can block it. It's negative 38 from full screen. It's negative 38 from elsewhere as well. People are not using this on block. Like, I could understand if people were doing this, but they're not doing that, you know? There's no reason for this move to be that unsafe when we have fatal blows that are... I mean, this move... And you're only going to get 6% for this. So why is this move that goddamn unsafe? You know what I mean? Negative 17 is perfectly fine. So the block advantage needs to be cut in half. Okay? Cut that shit in half. Just like this move, you can already jump it and blow him up for using it. You can block it. You know what I'm saying? It could still be unsafe, and that's fine, but there's no reason why this move should be damn near negative 40. That's ridiculous. Also, I want this to provide a stun animation. And the reason why is because Scorpion can do this to people. And they could actually hit him while he's doing it or after it's being done. So it needs to cause some sort of stun or stagger. The same stagger that, hold on. The same stagger that this provides, I want this to provide that same stagger. Okay. Or if you're not going to provide that same stagger, let this be damage over time, like real damage over time. That actually means something, because I don't know why this fire effect is supposed to be on, but it doesn't appear to do very much. You know what I'm saying? So I'd like this to have a hit animation. That way people can't punish Scorpion for doing this move. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't need to be punished as harshly for this or this. And he definitely shouldn't be punished for doing this. Okay? Now, Scorpion's frames. Now, Scorpion has 2 reasons to make characters duck. This and this. And since Scorpion seems to be a longer range character, very similar to Scarlet and MK9, or MK9, I'm sorry, MK11, I think he needs an overhead. Just one that splats, one that hits from probably here. Maybe it's like a forward 2 command or forward 1. Just something that splats the opponent on the ground. You know what I'm saying? Since he can use a sweep to pop him down on the ground, you give him an overhead with less range, pop them on the ground. Just splat them right down. And the reason why is because I want Scorpion to make people guess between blocking high and blocking low in this mid screen. You know what I'm saying? Because it's very clear he's meant to play around here. He's not meant to let you get this close to him because his up close stuff kind of sucks. And that's fine. It's okay for it to suck, as long as he can harangue you from out here. You see what I'm saying? If he can safely harangue you from these ranges, then it's like, okay, I'm cool. I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying? So just an overhead normal that splats right on the ground, same way this splats on the ground. Another overhead, or an overhead normal, not a string, not a launcher, just a normal. Just like what Scarlet had. She had back 2 in MK11 that just pop people on the ground. Scorpion can get that same goddamn normal. Splat somebody on the ground, no KB with it. Just something that could condition people to duck. You know what I'm saying? Because there's no reason that people can't just do this with Scorpion all day and then just jump, you know? I want something that stops them from doing this all the time. I want them to be afraid to just low block all the damn time with Scorpion. That's pretty much it for Scorpion. I think he's a much better character than people want to give him credit for. He has good design. You know, he has very good attributes. Teleport's a little too slow, but whatever. Air teleport is fast as shit. That's the one you should be using. Now, Sub-Zero. This my main guy right here. Now, I will say, this EX clone has put Sub-Zero in a much better place overall. Especially in the corner, you know. And this dual back 2 buff is exactly what he needed, even though I dropped it there. Yeah, this is a very good step in the right direction, you know. And so Sub-Zero is closer to being a complete character. But he still has some things that need to be addressed. Probably thing number 1 for me is this. This move is useless. The EX version is still useless. Both of these moves are useless as shit. Why? Because the startup is way too long. Why is it that Scorpion can meterlessly combo into his spear? Notice Scorpion can do any string he wants into spear. You know why he can? Because spear is 17 frames of startup. That's why. That's one of the reasons why Scorpion is functional, is because this spear is fast as hell and he can use it off of anything. So off of any stray hit, he can combo into spear and get it popping. Yet Sub-Zero cannot do this. That doesn't work. That doesn't work. Nothing works. It doesn't matter what you do, because this move is slower than tectonic shifting, okay? This move is slower than Atlanta traffic, okay? There's no reason for this ice ball to be this fucking bad. You know what I'm saying? Sub-Zero can't even trade with nobody. There's no reason for him to use this because it's so slow. And so, what is my suggestion? It needs to be half the speed that it's at. That it's not half the speed, I'm sorry. It needs to be double the speed that it's at now. Currently, it's 39 frames. Half of that would be 19.5, so we'll round it to 20. Make this 20 frames. 20 frame ice ball. Yes. Yes. 20 frames. 20 frames of startup. Why? Because this should just work. He should be able to do his mid, hit confirm it into ice ball, as we've been doing for ages now in Mortal Kombat. There's no reason why this shouldn't work. We shouldn't need a cameo to allow him to freeze. And let's think about it. We're not going to let's not pretend as though this ice ball is so powerful anyway. It scales damage, and it doesn't even allow Sub-Zero to do that. You see what I'm saying? So he would freeze somebody, and the best he would do, or shoot, he'd freeze a fool, and the best he'd be able to do is something like this. I'm with that. That's okay. That is okay. This freeze, he needs that. Because as it stands right now, Sub-Zero needs a cameo to be able to combo anything. Part of the reason why sub players use Serena so much is because he can do this. This is a combo for him. This is a combo for him. Without Serena and Chameleon, Sub-Zero players have to spend meter every time they want a combo. You know what I'm saying? And to me, that's inexcusable when Kenshi is out here getting 40% meterless. You know what I mean? We have these characters out here getting meterless damage. They're not even using cameos to get this crazy damage. Even Sub-Zero's own brother Scorpion can do any string he wants into his stun move and get a free combo starter. Sub-Zero can't, and there's no excuse for that. Okay? Ain't no excuse for that shit. So we need Sub-Zero's Ice Ball to be actually usable, okay? Now, let me talk about something that impacts Sub quite a bit as well. Some of y'all might know where I'm going with this. So, when Sub-Zero gets in the corner, Jesus Christ, I'm up here struggling. That combo has to be done backwards, meaning when I launch somebody with Sub-Zero, Jesus fuck. Also, double back 2 in the corner is unnecessarily stupid. Like mid-screen, I can just do it and it just works, but in the corner it whiffs. So we need that fixed as well. Like, look at that shit. I have to wait mad long in order to do it, because if I do it too early, if I do it with the same timing that I do mid-screen, notice it hits. This works perfectly mid-screen, but in the corner, whiff city. So that needs to be fixed. But anyway, when I hit my double back 2 combo, in the air, in order for that combo to function, I have to do 2-1, 2-1, down forward freeze, or down forward 1. But the clone is down back 1 though. And the reason why is because, for whatever reason, Sub-Zero winds up in front of Scorpion. He winds up in the corner temporarily. And that switches the input. So if I do the input the way it's supposed to go, well, I get an ice ball and the opponent kills me. You see what I'm saying? So that bug needs to be fixed. It's not cool trying to determine whether it's okay for me to do down back 1 or down forward 1 for the same combo. And the reason why I bring this up is because sometimes you'll hit the opponent with a string and they're close to the corner. Let me see. So sometimes you'll be here, right? And you'll hit the opponent with a combo. And then you'll do the corner combo and you don't know whether it's appropriate for you to do down forward 1 or down back 1. You know what I'm saying? So in case I didn't explain the problem properly, when Sub-Zero launches, after a launch, Sub-Zero does 2-1, and he's supposed to do his clone. So 2-1 clone. The input for clone is down back 1. But in the corner, you have to press down forward 1 in order for it to come out. And that's because Sub-Zero temporarily switched sides with Scorpion to place himself in the corner. It happens for a split second. But that's the only way for this to come out. That's inconsistent because mid-screen, we don't have this problem. You can just do down back 1 and the clone comes out easy. But in the corner, you have to do down forward 1, which doesn't make sense. And it makes it very difficult for when you put Scorpion in the corner, you put your opponent in the corner with a combo, and you try to do your aerial clone. Sometimes you'll mistakenly do the wrong input and get an ice ball instead, and they'll kill you. So that needs to be fixed as well. Okay? So other than that, whoops, I meant to change where they were at. And I meant to still be Sub-Zero. Other than that, remove the gaps in this and this. And really, that shouldn't have a gap either. That's dumb. Like, there's no reason for those strings to have gaps. Really, there's no reason for this string to be unsafe at the end. No point of that. So this needs to be safe. Remove the gap here and here. If they fix those few things with Sub-Zero, he'll be perfect. You won't hear anything from me regarding character fixes for Sub-Zero. Okay? But yeah. So those are my character requests and fixes for my mains. These are not the only characters that need a little bit of love. Characters like Reptile, Natara, Quan Chi, they all need some love too. But I don't play those characters. I only play the 8 that you see or saw in this video. I appreciate you guys watching. List your comments in the comments below. List the changes that you want for your mains, and we'll compare notes. But until next time, I'll catch y'all later. One.